It's pretty crazy to like be able to like look back now and be like, oh, I did that. Just seeing like, I remember some of the tracks I would go to and like the whoops would be like up to my chest. And I'd be like, how am I gonna get through this? Like not once, but like multiple times. I remember one of my first shows, it was like, oh, we need a girl. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't do any tricks. I can like kind of whip and knack. And they're like, we don't care. We just need a girl to jump 75. And that's how it like started. So like that's literally, it was like, we need a girl and the girl can do the jump. And that's like legit how it started.
I met a gypsy.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that was like my biggest thing coming into Imagination last year was those like, I mean, they were small, but pretty, big goals that were personal for me. And coming in there and I was just like, it was just a lot of dig deep moments that no one even saw. And It was just like, I like, this is what I like set out for myself. And I think a handful of them were just like doing things on my own. Like, the years prior, I kind of relied on Tyler to kind of get over a lot of the jumps, which is, I mean, no one's going to knock me for it. Yeah.
Everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't the only one, but I was just kind of looking at it and like Tyler has so much on his shoulders that I was just like, I want to do this like on my own. And like, I mean, granted, there were some times I still followed Tyler, but I was just like, I want to do this on my own. Like, I don't want to follow anyone there at all. Like, if I have to follow Tyler a couple times, yeah, that's fine. But, like, off, like, the big stuff that scares me, like, to where I don't really need to, like, the stuff that I don't need to aim for, like, K-Dub's Kingdom side is full of, like, you have to, like, aim for a specific spot. So I get, like, I followed Tyler on a handful of stuff over there. But on the other side, I was like, you're doing this on your own. Like, don't. Like, no following, like, you just go with your gut, because, like, that's what I needed to trust myself in, is just, like, feel your gut and, like, go with what that takes you. And it, like, I did the 90-120 on my own. I did one of the ones over the, like, just the little fast house box thing. I did that one on my own. I did pretty much everything on that side on my own, and I didn't follow anybody. And that was just like a tick box for me. And same thing, like everyone was kind of like seeing what Tyler was doing and kind of like playing that into their runs. And I was like, I don't want to do, like, I want to find stuff for myself that no one else has jumped. Yeah. And I found a couple things, like I think 3 things on K-Dub's side that were, one with the help of Rife. Rife is like a friggin' legend in our sport that no one knows really about, but he's one of the guys that works for Dream Tracks, and he pointed one out and I'm like, dude, that one's sick, but I had to jump it on my own. So it was just like finding all these things to tie my run together that I had to figure out on my own. So I went over to K-Dub's side and I found 3 things that I had to jump on my own that nobody else even jumped, and I did that on my own. And then my next thing was, I want to jump something before anybody, before Tyler. Like, I want to do it and be the guinea pig. And it just, like, it's not easy to do when you have Tyler, when you have Josh Hill, like, dudes that have impeccable timing, and they're, like, they'll jump it without thinking, and they're normally right anyways. So, like, for me to get all my ducks in order, for me to aim, to calculate, feel the like, just all the things that have to happen for me to jump something, I got to be moving pretty quick to jump something them. Before and like dudes just like like they're like moto towards it. They're like almost like little kids on like 50s when they're like getting ready to get released. They're just like inching, just inching at it. So like they're just all chomping at the bit. And there was one, and we were trying to link K-Dub's side from the other side, the 130 over. And I like look at Steve, one of the guys that he's like the Red Bull TM, and he was standing at like kind of like a good zone. I'm like, hey, everyone's over there like looking at something. I'm like, can I jump this? Because it like you kind of need clearance for that one because of all the moving pieces and stuff. And he was like, go for it. And then Tyler starts, like, then they start coming over as I, like, check it real quick. And I just rush over and turn. And I'm like, no, they're not beating me. I'm doing it. So I just, like, got on it, clicked gears, and then went over the 130 and was able to grease it first. And it was just, like, one of the best feelings in the world to be able to be like, I did this before anybody else did. And I did it on my own. So, like, it's just, like, no one would think that's a huge deal, but for me, like, that's huge personal goal, especially like up against those guys that will jump it in 0.2 seconds.
Oh man, it is cool. Like, I've been around Tyler at Farm Jam and, you know, some other places where, you know, you see guys sizing things up, and to be the first one to jump a jump of like serious consequence. It's actually a super big deal, eh? And like you said, the competition's quite fierce to pull something like that off. And there's some dudes that are so natural with it. Like Tyler's crazy natural with it. Hill's crazy natural with it. Hanson's crazy natural with it. Like, they can just look at shit and just know what to do. And you're like, fuck, it's a crazy skill in itself. And I could imagine that, like, you doing that at Imagination this year, like the level of confidence that then you would take into all these other scenarios where you'd be faced with that same kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, like you said, like they have just timing that I've never like experienced before. And like, I still don't have, like, compared to them, I feel like I don't have timing. But the only way to get better is to truly like just do it on your own and figure it out. So it was just, like I said, a lot of dig deep and like, all right, like trust yourself. And like you did all the work, you did the riding beforehand. Like you did as much as you could to prepare for, I mean, something like this that you can, and just like trust yourself and like dig deep and like truly, like, I mean, like the consequences are a little bit more there. So like you truly just kind of got to dig deep and trust yourself in my scenario. And I was just like, all right, like, I feel like I have the timing in me. I just have to see if it works. So that was kind of like where I was just like, trust your timing and it'll work out. And that's kind of where I was. And it was the one thing that ended up hurting me, because the last jump that I had to make my run work, we just ended up having like wind delays, and then one of the riders in my practice group got hurt, so I like didn't get to jump this jump that Baker kind of made a lip for me off the side. And I just was like, well, I only get to jump it in my warm-up run, and it's like super, super windy, and I was just super uncomfortable and just went for it anyways, and then just completely misjudged everything, went to flat, went into the bushes, and just like that was the end of that. But I just took away all those small victories that were kind of a big deal to me.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.